Alright, Shalom Makim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who were well taught me this truth. And peace and blessing be to those for elect. I'm the brother Yashar Gabar back to you again with another lesson. And Lord willing, this lesson be edifying. Alright, that was a video seen a few days ago. Alright, with Dabu on Dabu page. And it was entitled A Massive Mystery Object Past the Sun. And this object was bigger than the sun. You know, we believe that to be a chariot of the Most High. Alright. You know, and this is something that this devil, he can't keep up with. Alright, he can't understand. He can't track. You know, this is something that he fears. Alright, for you Israelites, you know, it's going to be for one or two things. Alright, the deliverance. Alright, or what? You know, destruction. You know? So, without further ado, let's bring out a few scriptures. Starting off with the book of Mark, chapter 13, verse 26. It says, "And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with great power and glory. And then shall he send his angels and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from the uttermost part of the earth to the uttermost part of the heavens." You know, and this is how the Lord, Yahweh Shai, is coming back. Alright, with his mighty angels, you know, in the chariots to deliver his elect, you know, out of the nation of Israel. Alright, not the whole world. Alright. The Lord isn't coming back to save the whole world and those who believe. Alright. He has his remnant. Alright, he has his elect. Alright. Which is the 144,000 and the 1/3. You know? So let's move on. Let's get this. Yeah, okay. The book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 25. It says, "And there should be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, and perplexity, and sea and waves are roaring." All right, and the Lord give us signs, man. All right, but you have blood moons. All right, even the sightings of the chariots. All right, be signs, man. All right, and let's see, verse 26. It says, "Men's heart faileth them for fear, and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heavens shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds with the power of great glory." Yeah, you people are going to fear. All right, in the day of the Lord. All right, the scriptures speak on how the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. You know, because you people, you look out for what? You already call on JC. All right, you believe in Christianity. How the Lord is just a so-called white man with doggy, stringy hair. You know, ready to love everyone and bring everyone together, which is incorrect. You know, and you read the scriptures, all right, you learn that the Lord is a so-called black man, all right? A so-called black man that is angry, you know, and is coming back, all right, with a sword. You know, it's coming back to destroy this place, man. All right? And you people are going to fear, all right, in the day of the Lord. Right along with Esau, Edom, all right, these other nations, 2/3, all right, you people are going to fear, man. Because you're going to know that it's not nothing, all right, that's coming, all right, to make peace, all right? So let's see. It says, "Man's heart fell into for fear. You're having a heart attack, passing out, all right, seeing these things that's to come, all right?" And it says, "And for looking after those things which is coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall the Son of Man come in clouds with power and great glory. And then these things begin to come to pass. Then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption is nigh, draweth nigh." Yeah, the redemption is draweth nigh, man. All right, it's nearer than we believe. You know, and this is what we look after, man. All right, this is why we look up, you know, because the Lord is going to come, all right, from the heavens, all right, with the mighty angels and the chariots, all right, to deliver his elect, all right, Lord willing, we be part of that elect, man, all right. This is why we do the work, all right, sincerely, you know, and teach what the 100% truth, all right, not selling out like these other camps, you know. So yeah, this is why, you know, we pray to the Lord, all right, that way we be part of that elect, man. So moving on, let me see, was that it? John 9, yeah, that was it. So moving on, let's get the Wisdom of Solomon. Let me make sure. Yeah, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, and then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such have afflicted him, and made no account of his labor. Yeah, those men being the elect. All right, the 144. All right, the prophets. All right, that's standing in great boldness, man. You know, that elect. The elect period. All right, the 1/3. All right, the ones that are just standing in great boldness, man. All right, against those that have afflicted them. You know, which the face that such have afflicted. All right, who was that? All right, beginning with Esau, Edom. All right, this fucking devil. All right, right along with the other nations. All right, that's afflicting Jake. All right. Matter of fact, let's go into this word. Let's get the definition right quick. Afflicted. Showing movies and shit. Let's see. All right, afflicted means to be greatly troubled or suffering, especially from a disease or hardship. It can refer to a person, animal, whatever. Let's see. Greatly troubled, though. All right. Let's just say that, you know, because we've been greatly troubled. All right. The scripture says what it's a righteous thing. All right, to recompense tribulation of such who has troubled you. You know. All right, who been troubling us? All right. Esau, Edom, all right, the other nations, all right, shooting Jake down in the streets, all right, putting us in captivity, all these things, man, numerous of things, all right, I can name, all right, so let's see, it says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face such has afflicted him, and made no account of his labor, all right, because we're standing in great boldness, all right, who else is doing this, all right, who else is standing up against this system, all right, this kingdom, all right, everyone else is in, you know, in comfort, all right, you Christians, all right, you comfortable here, man, you know, you're not standing up against, all right, this fucking devil, all right, so, it says what, verse 2, it says, and when they shall see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and should be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they that look for it. Yeah. So when they see it, all right, they're going to be troubled. All right, when they see the chariots come, all right, seeing Yahushua makes his return, all right, you people want to be in terrible fear, man. All right. And it says it should be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation. All right, because it's going to be strange to them. All right, they're not looking forward and seeing what the elect getting beamed up by the way of the chariots. All right, you know, so it's going to be strange to them, man. All right, it says so far they beyond all they that look for. All right, and let's see. It says they, verse 3. I'm gonna keep going. It says, and they repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and proverbs and reproach. We fools accounted his life madness and his end to be without honor. All right, this is how these people look at the prophets. All right, this is how you people look. All right, you know, at the men of the Lord. All right, as his end to be without honor. All right, like there's no end to that, you know. Hey, when this place go, hey, they're gonna go too. All right. You know, we all gonna be destroyed. All right. We don't care. You know, they make no account of his labor, man. All right. But it says what we fools account of his life madness. All right, because you people gonna realize, all right, that hey, you was in. Matter of fact, let's keep going. It says, how was he numbered among the children of Yahweh and his lots among the saints? Therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness rose not upon us. All right? It's because you people are going to realize, all right, that you erred in the way of truth. You know? But you follow JC, you listen to the pork chop eating pastor, you know? And you're going to realize that the men of the Lord had this truth the whole time. All right? You know? How was he numbered among the saints? All right, and this is someone I grew up with. All right, I used to always see them out there on the corners teaching, you know? How can this be? All right? And you people going to see it, man. All right, and you're saying people that don't believe, all right, that mock, you know, scoff, talk shit, all right, is going to be destroyed. All right? You're going to be destroyed, man. So let's see, moving on. Let's get 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 1. Let's start at verse 1. Let me make it quick, not too long. So it says, and it came to pass, after the 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. Yeah, so Esdras had a vision, all right? And it says, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof. And beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heavens. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him. Yeah, that man being Yahweh Shai, all right, with the thousands of angels, the thousands of chariots right along with him. You know, and you people are going to tremble, all right? Everything trembled that was seen under him, man, all right? And it says, and whatsoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they that burned that heard his voice, like as the earth filleth when he filleth the fire. All right, and after this I beheld, and lo, there was a gathering together, a multitude of men out of the number from the four winds of the heavens to subdue the men that came out of the sea. Yeah, so, and this speaking of what Esau, Edom, all right, his military, all right, trying to subdue, come make war with the Lord, you know. So, and it says to subdue the men that came out of the sea, all right, being what Yahweh Shai coming from the heavens, all right, from the sky, all right, with his mighty angels and the chariots. So verse 6, it says, but I beheld, and lo, he had graven himself a great multitude, Salakia, all right, himself a great mountain, and flew upon it. All right, this Yahweh Shai, all right, coming with on the chariot, all right, and it says what a mountain, you know, and this is how big the chariot was. All right, he compared it to what a mountain. It says, but I would have seen the region or a place wherein the hill was graven, and could not. So, hey, it was graven that he couldn't see. All right, he could not, you know, see where this chariot began or where it ended. All right, that's how big this chariot was. All right, and it's just going back to thinking of that video. All right, that this chariot, all right, that was seen, you know, this he called object, all right, that was passing the sun, all right, was bigger than the sun. You know? So, hey, man, hey, you people gonna have a rude awakening, all right? But it says, I beheld, lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. But I would have seen the region or place wherein the hill was graven and could not. So he couldn't even see, all right, where this mountain was, where you go to that word graven, all right, to be carved, you know. He couldn't see, all right, how big, you know, where it started and where it ended, you know, pretty much. He couldn't even measure it, how big it was. It says, But I have seen the region or the place wherein the hill was graven, and could not. And after this I beheld, and lo, all that which were gathered together to subdue him with sore afraid, and yes, there's fight. Yeah, so they was going to be afraid. All right, hey, these devils, this military, all right, is going to be afraid, but there's fight. Because the Lord is going to put the spirit in them to fight back. All right, because the Lord is going to make war. You people are going to have to fight. All right, what you had the devil Ronald Reagan, was speaking on. If something out of this world was to come, to make war with. All right, to fight against, because during the World War III, they're gonna try to that's when the Lord is gonna make His return. All these nations are gonna turn to fight against the Lord. All right, and the Lord is gonna have fun. All right, the Lord is gonna have fun. All right, the chariots is gonna have fun. All right, destroying y'all, man, turning you people to dust. All right. So let's keep going. It says on verse 9, it says, and lo, as he saw the violence against the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held the sword, nor any instrument of war, because everything's going to be destroyed in the Lord's path. All right, the Lord's not going to have to personally, fight against you people, man. All right. So it says, but only I saw that he sent out his mouth as he had been a blast of fire, and on his lips the flaming breath, and on his tongue he cast out sparks of tempest. So not literally, his mouth, all right, but using the chariots, coming with what that fire, that flame, that you people don't want to see. All right, that blue beam of fire, man. All right. And this devil, he shows it, or he knows it. Or he shows it in the movie. He made mockery of the chariots, him fighting against it and trying to prevent and prevailing, which is, it's going to be the opposite. You people are going to lose. All right. So let's see. Let's keep going. It says, and they were all mixed together, a blast of fire, a flaming breath, and a great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which were prepared to fight, and burned them up, every one, so that upon a sudden of a numberable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. Yeah, and that's what's going to happen in the path, all right, of the Lord. Dust and the smell of smoke. And you people are going to be turned into dust powder, man. All right, your chariots. All right, meaning what? Your jets, helicopters, tanks. All that shit is going to be turned to dust. All right, that's how powerful the Lord is coming. All right. All right. The scripture says what? I will not meet thee as a man. Because the first time you was able, to, get control, put the Lord on the cross, all these things. All right, but the Lord is coming back as a angelic force, meaning what? You're not going to be able to touch the Lord. All right, you're not going to be able to, to prevail against the Lord, man. All right, right along with his angels and his chariots that's going to be on one accord, So yeah, the chariot's going to have fun. It speaks on it in the book of Revelation. And in fact, let's end it off with that. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7. It says, and there was a war in heaven. All right, not, in the spiritual realm, like it's just a big war in the heaven. All right, meaning what? The skies, man. All right. And it says, and there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought against and his angels. So Michael, the archangel, all right, is coming back, with Yahweh Shai, all right, and the dragon being with Esau, Edom, are his military, fighting against the Lord. But it says what? Verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was there a place found any more in heaven. So he's not going to prevail. You know, he can come with whatever he want. All right, however many jets he have, helicopters, whatever he think he's going to invent. All right, and made to come against the Lord. All right, it says what? Prevail not. So this devil is going to be destroyed, man, in the Lord's path. All right, this is what we patiently waiting on. All right, this is what we look up for after, man. All right, seeing the signs of the chariots, seeing these things go on. All right, seeing the prophecies being fulfilled. All right, we know that we in those times, man. All right, and the Lord is near. All right, nearer than we believed. Nearer than we believe, man. All right. And this devil, he's afraid, man. He's scared. All right, he know what's to come. All right, but this is something that he can't stop. All right. So let's see and that was it. So I'm ending off with that. So giving all praises, honor, and glory goes to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem HaKakodash, and give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Till next time, we say Shalom.